All right, tell the YouTube people what you want to talk about this time.
Well, here it is, December the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, 2016. And I'm 91 years old. And I might cough a lot because I have chronic bronchitis. And I'm hoping I can get cured from that. And Nathan and I just came back from Walmart where we did our shopping. And Nathan got us a supper. And I was thinking about my family and if I were to tell them or give them advice, one of the things I would say is take your children to church. My mother took us to church, and I'm not sorry that she did. And although some of us may have fallen away from it, but they all went back to it. And I'm the only one left in my family. But I know that when my brother died up at the Veterans Hospital, he was living with a woman he wasn't married to, but he wanted to be married because he knew it was the right thing to do, because that's the way his mother taught him. And I had another brother didn't go. Well, his wife didn't go to church. But when he was dying, he said he wanted to talk to the preacher, he wanted to be baptized, and he wanted to go to heaven. So my advice to anybody raising children is take them to church. You won't be sorry. They turn out to be better kids in the end. I know the Bible says, raise up a child in the way he should go, and he will not depart from it. And my one sister used to say, well, how old does he have to be before, when he's old he won't depart from it? Because he was a boy that gave her a little trouble, that she adopted. And, but I have a good feeling about all of them, that they're in heaven, and I'll meet them there sometime. So I took Nathan to church when he was little. His mother, she was brought up to go to the church, but she didn't go. Linda goes. I brought up, one of the things I made up my mind when I had children, I was going to take them to church. And we moved up to Newton Hamilton in 1950, and I got involved in the Methodist Church up at Newton Hamilton. And I went there for 50 years, till I moved down here. And then I was going to the Methodist Church over here at McVeigh, and till I got there, I wasn't feeling good, especially this cough. I don't want to go to church and cough, 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 cough in church and to disturb other people. And they'll say, oh, that Myra, she has a cold, she'll give it to everybody. It's not a cold, I won't give it to anybody. It's a chronic bronchitis. So I'm hoping, I've been doctoring for it. I've been hoping to get better. So we're going over to Linda's. She lives over near State College, Linda and Ike, for Christmas. Nathan's going to drive me and Ike's Aunt Patty over, and I'll get to see my little great-grandsons. One of the biggest reasons I want to go, I gotta go. Nathan, I gotta go see those little buggers. Corbin's 5.5, and Eli's 3.5. And Christmas is a big deal to them. They get a lot of gifts. Their grandfather Rosen still buys them anything you can think of. Tina, the mother of my great-grandsons, has family out in Pittsburgh. So they'll be out in Pittsburgh till tomorrow. And then they'll drive into Linda and Ike's. And I'm looking forward to see all my family together. And can remember when I was a child at Christmas, we got excited over Christmas, but we didn't get near the things that kids get today. Maybe we got one gift and it might have been maybe some clothes. Anything that we had, even a sled belonged to all of us. We had a bicycle, but it belonged to all of us. When I say all of us, that's one of the kids that were my closest to my age at that time. Our family had like 2 different groups because a couple of my family was married. I mean, we weren't all living at home at one time. We had 11 children, but some of them got married before the youngest one was born. My oldest brother and sister were already married, so sorry, I have to cough. But I can remember, maybe I talked about this before, we didn't even have electricity in our house. So our Christmas tree, well, we loved our Christmas tree. We went out in the woods and cut it. I remember one time, and we looked forward to decorating the Christmas tree. You cut a tree, you put it down in a bucket of coal or nailed it to the bottom to a board or something, and my brother, the one next door than I, we called him Harold. He was 15 months older than I. We walked clear up over the mountain, down the other side, looking for a Christmas tree. We finally got one. It might have looked a little like Charlie Brown's Christmas, but we thought it was great. And I remember asking my mom about Santa Claus. I said, "Did you see kids said there is no Santa Claus?" She said, "Well, I suppose they know it all." She never lied to us about it. She just, I suppose they know it all. You didn't have to tell your kids there was a Santa Claus. Other people would say, "What are you going to get from Santa Claus?" But if you asked, she would tell you. I did that with my own kids. I told them, "Nah, there's no Santa." I never lied to them. There's no Santa Claus, but it's a fun game to play. So, I know I had a Sunday school teacher that said you shouldn't tell your kids. That's a lie. You shouldn't tell your kids there's a Santa Claus. I don't think we ever really, really believed it was. But we should make sure you tell them what Christmas is all about. It's not getting a present. It's not decorating your yard with a bunch of plastic stuff. It's celebrating the birthday of Jesus. And be sure and tell your kids that. It's Jesus' birthday. And we must remember that. I have a lot of good memories of when I was a kid, and some that weren't so good. The fun that we had together. We had a playground that other kids in the neighborhood came to. My dad made this playground. It was swings and a seesaw and a merry-go-round that he made from a big wagon wheel. I forget how you did sit on. I think there was a board. You used a board across this, and that's what we sat on. We always had swings. Nathan lived with me when he was a little kid. We had 2 swings, a tire swing and one made out of wood. I had 2 big maple trees, and over here was the tire swing, over here was the other swing, made out of rope with a wooden board across. One time I was mowing the lawn, and that tire swing was there. I thought, oh, I'll just run into it and it'll move out of the way. Well, I run into the tire swing and the mower caught on it, and I upset my back on my back, and I felt like a fool. I thought, oh, I hope the neighbors were watching. I had to kick the mower down and get up. Nobody was hurt though, but I could have been. and Nathan and Alex, our neighbor, they used to get on the swings. And one of the things they used to like to do is build a tree house. Every summer they had some project. One was they built what they called a clubhouse, and out of old lumber and stuff. And then one year they built this tree house. I don't think they ever played in it much once they got it built. The fun was building the darn thing, I think. And I gave them any wood that was laying around my place, or any wood that was laying around the Boozles' house. And we had an old, well, Joe used it for potato bin in the basement. Every year he planted a garden, and we had enough potatoes to last until spring, and they were in this potato bin. But we tore it apart, and they used that in their tree house because we didn't need it anymore. We always had enough garden. When my husband was living, we had a large garden in our backyard. And he planted, let me see, corn. We had some good corn in a cob. And we used to can or freeze a lot of stuff. Before we had a freezer, we canned things. And pickles. We had cucumbers, beans, cauliflower, cabbage. We made sauerkraut. And you have one of these, a cutter to cut up the cabbage. And then you stomp it down and put it in a jar with a bunch of salt. And you don't seal the jar until it has to work. What they call it when it was working, making itself into sauerkraut. And we had our own homemade sauerkraut. We had a lot of different kind of pickles, dill pickles, bread and butter pickles, sour pickles, and lettuce, onions, little green onions. I love little green onions in a sandwich. We always had them. And the first row in our garden was flowers. We had gladioluses, cosmos, larkspur, foxglove across the bottom of our garden. And in fall come we had dahlias. You had to dig your dahlias up and save them till next year. This is what chronic bronchitis does to you. It makes you cough. Can't say I'm really sick, but then again, when you're coughing all the time, you're not feeling good either. One of the things that Nathan learned, and there's a picture there with him sitting on the mower with his grandfather, probably a couple years old, and now he still mows the lawn. He started mowing our lawn when he was probably, 7 or 8?
Something like that.
And I'd be mowing the lawn, and then he'd say, Grandma, let me do that, let me do that, let me do that. And I said, okay, get on here. And I put the blade up. I didn't let the blade down the first time he went around the shed. And then I said, I put the blade down, left to mow a little bit that way. It wasn't long, he was doing all the mowing, and now he knows how to fix mowers. 2 things he knows how to fix: a mower and a computer. And he has a good friend that knows how to fix cars, so that's a good help when you know how to fix cars. He can fix a computer for his friend, and they can fix his car. And even the neighbors used to come over and say, Nathan, something wrong with my computer. Can you work on it a little bit? So I used to take old computers and make them work. So, how long was that?
I think that's about enough for this time.
Nathan cooked supper for us, and I had spaghetti with meatballs. We bought the meatballs. He had a pretty good supper, though. Some people might call it dinner, but we call it supper. We had breakfast, and then dinner, and then supper. That's what they say around here, but we call it breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's what my daughter Linda and her family called it. One time when Nathan is there staying with us, he went out to tell his grandfather went out to tell him, dinner's ready. And he said, no, Pop, it's lunchtime. It's lunch is ready. To him, dinner was in the evening.
That wouldn't have been me, that would have been Ian.
That was Ian. Because that's what they always said. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Around here, they say breakfast, dinner, and supper. If I say, did you have your dinner yet? They think, don't think I made lunchtime. So that's some of the good memories I have around Christmas time. When I was older and got a job, I bought things for my sister. I bought her a bicycle, my youngest sister, a bicycle, a sled, clothes, because I felt sorry for her. We had a big family and we couldn't afford a lot of things. The one bicycle that we got, we decided we're going to save our money. That would have been those of us who are living home at the time. We're going to save our money and we're going to buy a bicycle. There was a kid lived down the road from us, had a bicycle, but it didn't have a seat. I learned to ride a bike on the bicycle, it didn't have a seat. And so we started putting our money in a can or something to save it, and our dad would drop some into it. And finally we had enough money to buy a bicycle, and we had to take turns with it because it was for all of us. I think it was a boy's bike. And I think better for boys to ride a boy's bike than a girl's bike. For some reason, they probably didn't want to be sissies. And I didn't mind it. We had a bike and I wanted to ride it. That was a big deal for us too. My mother had 12 children. The youngest son died as a baby, 6-month-old, but she raised 11. I have a friend whose family had 18 children. I can't imagine one woman having 18 children. And they didn't go to the hospital to have them. They had them at home. There was a lady lived down near, in fact, she was kind of related to my mother. She was a midwife. And the people that lived down there, when they had the baby, they called on Aunt Nanny, the midwife. I had 3, and I had them all in the hospital. So I guess that's about all I can think of right now, Nathan.
All right, I think that's good enough for this time.